The strategic art of UX sketching.
Sketching is honestly one of the most powerful skills a designer can have. I mean, it is the fastest way to get an idea out of your head and into the world, to communicate, to innovate, and to solve problems. So let's dive into this guide and talk about your new secret weapon. Oh, we've all been there, right? You're in a meeting, you're trying to describe some user flow or a new interface, and you can just see the blank stares around the room. You're waving your hands, you're using all these analogies, but the idea just isn't landing, and it is so frustrating. Well, here's the thing. There's a much better way. And this is the big secret. You don't need to be an artist. This is not about creating some masterpiece for a museum. It's about communication. Seriously, if you can draw a square, a circle, and a line, you already have all the artistic talent you need to get started. So let's get into exactly why the seemingly simple skill is an absolute game changer in the world of UX. Look, this isn't just some old cliche. It's a fundamental truth of our work. A quick sketch can bridge gaps in understanding that a 1,000-word document never ever could. It creates a shared reality, a single source of truth for the entire team to rally around. Now, this really gets to the heart of why we do this. It's not just one thing. It's like a virtuous cycle. For you personally, it helps you think through your own fuzzy ideas and make them concrete. But the real magic? That happens when you bring sketching to a group. It becomes this supercharger for collaboration because it makes sure everyone is literally on the same page. And when you have that shared clarity, you can think bigger. You can map out the entire user journey, way beyond a single screen. And that is where the real innovation happens. Okay, so you're ready to start sketching. But how polished does it actually need to be? Well, that brings us to a really crucial strategic concept: fidelity. The best way to think about fidelity is like a volume knob. You're not always trying to turn it up to 11, right? The goal is to match the level of detail to the situation. Are you just brainstorming with your internal team, or are you presenting a final concept to a really key stakeholder? The answer changes everything. This is your rapid-fire brainstorming mode. Low fidelity is all about speed and getting a lot of ideas out. These sketches are meant to be messy. They're meant to be disposable. Their whole job is to capture the essence of an idea in just a minute or two, so you can move on to the next one. It's absolutely perfect for workshops. Okay, now we're adding a little more thought, a little more polish. Mid-fidelity is that versatile sweet spot. It's got enough detail for a client to understand the concept without a ton of explanation, but, and this is key, it still looks unfinished enough that it invites feedback and collaboration. And then you have high fidelity. This is the full-blown presentation piece. It's detailed, it's shaded, it's annotated, it looks fantastic, and it can sell an idea all on its own. But there's a hidden danger here. And this story just illustrates the risk perfectly. The source talks about a team that made their sketches too beautiful. And what happened? The client was so impressed, he felt like it was too late to give any critical feedback, which was the entire point of the meeting. So the lesson here is crucial. More beautiful isn't always better. You have to match the fidelity to your goal. All right, let's bust another myth right now. You do not need to go out and spend a ton of money at an art store to get started. Let's look at the simple, basic tools you'll actually need. Just remember this. It's not about having the fanciest pens or the latest, greatest tablet. It really is about building muscle memory and confidence. Your skill will always, always trump expensive gear. And here is the proof. Just look at this list. You probably have all of this stuff on your desk right now. A couple of pens for different line weights, a simple gray marker to add some depth, some plain paper, and a ruler. That's it. That is literally all you need to create professional-looking design sketches. So, the classic question, paper versus digital. The truth is, neither one is inherently better. They're just different tools for different jobs. Paper is often faster. It's way more collaborative, and it's free from all the notifications and distractions of a screen. Digital, on the other hand, offers incredible flexibility with edits, layers, and color. My advice? Start with paper. Build the core skills without distraction. Okay, you've got your tools. Now, how do you go from a flat, kind of lifeless drawing to something that feels dynamic and clear? Let's break it down into a few simple steps. This 4-step process is basically your recipe for success. First, start light with construction lines to just map everything out. Then go over your main elements with a firmer, more confident hand. Next, and this is a big one, grab that thick pen and use line weight to make the important things pop. And finally, add just a little bit of shadow with your gray marker.
See? Each step just builds on the last, adding so much clarity and professionalism.
A great design is always more than just a single screen. It's a journey. And you know what? Sketching is the perfect tool for telling that entire story. And that's where the storyboard comes in. Think of it just like a comic strip for your user's experience. This forces you to think beyond the interface and to consider the context, like what happens before they even open the app, what happens after they log off. This is how you design a service, not just a product. And this is a brilliant illustration of that idea. The user's journey isn't just happening in the app. The user checks the app, then they make a phone call, a totally different touchpoint, and then they come back to the app to confirm the change. A storyboard is what connects all these different dots into one coherent human-centered story. Okay, we've covered the why, the what, and the how. Now let's talk about the single most important part of all of this, simply starting. You don't need to block out hours and hours in your calendar. The barrier to entry here is just 5 minutes. I'm serious. A quick warm-up builds your confidence, it builds that muscle memory, and it makes a really noticeable difference in the quality and the fluidity of your lines. Here are 3 super simple exercises. Grab a piece of paper right now and try it. Draw some fast, straight lines, but move your whole arm from the elbow, not just your wrist. Sketch some quick, light circles. Then try some ellipses, but rotate the page to find an angle that feels comfortable. Think of it like a quick stretch for your creative muscles. And really, that's the only question left. All the theory in the world doesn't matter one bit until you actually put pen to paper. The tools are simple, the techniques are learnable, and the impact is huge. So, what problem are you going to solve? What idea are you going to bring to life? It's time to start sketching.